Hey everyone, the start of the new year is a great time to reflect on the past and plan for the future. So here's a look back at my resolution for 2019, how I accomplished it, the lessons learned, and what comes next. Let's start with why I decided to learn a new trick for every week of the year. I've been a circus hobbyist for several years, but I've never had any concrete goals or a long-term planned direction. If it's ever going to be more than a hobby, it needs to happen while I'm still young enough to do this kind of stuff. So I compiled a list of over 200 things I wanted to try but I've never gotten around to doing, with the goal to identify if I enjoyed them, if I was good at them, and if people enjoyed seeing them. I started with the easy ones to make sure I could get through them in 1 week. I quickly learned that learning a trick in 1 week isn't that hard, but learning a new one week after week for a year was exhausting. Some were harder and more time-consuming than expected, while I sped through others just to meet the weekly deadline. This isn't exactly a structured countdown, but I'm saving some of my favorites for last so I can talk about them in a little more detail. So, People Are Awesome shared this one, and it got 7.4 million views on Facebook alone. You'd think that would put it at the end of the countdown, but here's the problem. It isn't performable. What you don't see in this video is me stopping every 10 seconds to rinse the razor. The unedited version is even more awkward and less flattering than what you got. Eating with a balance has more potential. In fact, two friends suggested that I could fill an entire show with just this. There's definitely something there, but I'm not sure if I've found it just yet. By summertime, it was getting to be a little bit too much, so I took a few months off to focus on the ski show. When I got back to it, I was way behind. There's no way I could have finished this project without support from friends. And acro yoga is literally about supporting and lifting each other up. I want to thank everyone who helped me perform, or hold a camera, or help out in any other way. I also want to thank everyone who encouraged me during this project. The overwhelmingly positive feedback reminded me that there is a place for people who do things a little bit differently. I might be a little bit biased putting this near the end of the countdown, but it was a party with circus folk, and everything's more fun at circus parties. The only thing Zach could compare this to was solving one Rubik's Cube in each hand at the same time. It was a fun, mind-bending challenge, and I'll definitely revisit sometime for a higher score. If there's one skill that I learned this year that felt like a superpower, this is the one. With enough practice, you could get to the point where you could make a bad throw and still find the spot where you need to put your hand in order to catch the ball and bring it back into the pattern. This was especially exciting because it took a lot less time to figure that out than I was expecting. With more time, this could get very consistent. Who knows, maybe double Dutch hula hooping could be a thing one day. There was so much potential with this one, but the hoop kept running into the frame and stopping. Once I find a long enough chin-up bar, I will definitely revisit this. This was my first serious attempt at a string instrument since way back in elementary school. Now, since I am a partially ambidextrous lefty, both orientations seemed equally valid on the ukulele. So this could lead to a fun, unconventional style. And the number one skill I learned this year is a video game. This is probably unexpected and requires some explaining. On the surface, the Wii Fit is a fun way for muggles to get active and improve their balance. But when you put it on top of a rollabola, it becomes a challenging training tool for perfecting rollabola performance. It visually displays every wobble and quantifies progress with a wide variety of minigames. I'm planning on doing some more advanced stuff on the rollabola in the future, and I plan on making the Wii Bola a major part of my training going forward. But seriously, this is the equivalent of playing a flight simulator while actually flying. It's very dangerous. The Wii Fit is not meant to be played on top of the rollabola, so seriously, do not try this. So that's it. I'll still be learning new stuff every here and there, but I'd like to slow down and master just a few things well enough to put a little show together. I wish you the best with your resolutions, especially Jill and Shelly as they begin their own Trick of the Week challenges. You can do it.